There's so many times I let you down.
Welcome to Ask the Consul, and of course we have two consular officers here from the United States Embassy right here in Kingston, Jamaica. We have consular officers Paul Rivera. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing really well. I'm glad to be here, Vernon. Thank you.
Good to have you. And we also have George. That's how you pronounce it, George?
Yeah.
George Cordova.
That's right. Good morning, Vernon.
It's
great
good
to be here.
have you. For some reason, I don't know if I'm jumping to conclusion, but I pick up a little bit of Spanish, Rivera and Cordova.
Yes, you're very perceptive, Vernon. So both of us have some Spanish background.
Oh, so you, what? ¿Hablas español muy bien?
Los dos hablamos español. Si alguien quiere llamar por teléfono en español, no hay ningún problema.
No problem. We can do Spanish too.
In Jamaica, I said, I understand nothing. So, vive en Mexico or?
My family is from, my mom's side is from Mexico, my father's side from El Salvador. So.
Really
and mine is not from very far away from here. It's from originally from Cuba.
Right next door.
I grew up in Miami, but my parents were originally from Cuba.
It's good to have you, and we're going to have a wonderful time today. Would you believe it, gentlemen? Before we can even start, there is a caller on the line, so let's go to our first caller. And Mark, how are you? Good to have you. Where are you calling from, Mark?
Well, I'm calling from Clarendon.
Good to have you. Go right ahead.
Morning, Mark.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Asking about your U.S. visa. If you overstayed like a month on it, can you travel on it again?
Mark,
you're going to take that one. Okay, Paul?
Yes, sir. Mark, thank you for your question. One of the things that we look for in our visa applicants is that they've used their visas correctly, and part of it is things like making sure that our applicants haven't worked in the United States illegally, for example, under a tourist visa, but also making sure that they've complied with the terms of it. And one of the terms is how the length of stay. If you've had an overstay, that's gonna not look very good on your future applications, and it would most likely be very difficult for you to travel again.
One thing that I will mention, clearly it is something that affects you negatively. It is not a permanent ban for the future. There are limits depending on how much you overstayed, but certainly it does establish a travel history that is not complying with the rules. But I would check with our website at kingston.usembassy.gov for more details on overstays, and a lot of it will depend on just exactly how long you did overstay. Okay, good luck to you, Mark.
If you overstayed for like a month.
I think that we lost that caller. Hello, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yes, you're asking a final question.
Yeah, you overstayed for a month.
All right. Well, we can't really get into your particular details of your particular case on air, but I would encourage you to visit the website, and there's more information on specifically how long you overstayed and what the potential implications of that on your future visa use will be. Okay.
All right. So thank you very much for calling. All right. Let's go to our next caller. Joy, how are you? Where are you calling from, Joy?
I'm calling from Kingston.
Good to have you. You go right ahead.
Yes, what I want to find out, I am 67 years old, and I will need to renew my visa soon. So what do I have to do? Do I have to do the same thing as I did before?
All right, Joy, this is George. Thanks for calling. It's a great question. So you've had a visa before and you've traveled to the U.S. back and forth?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you do have to apply to renew your visa, okay? What I can tell you, though, is typically for people renewing their visas, people who have traveled well in the past, it's a very smooth and painless process. You apply online, you come by, we have a special time late in the morning where there's no line, very little wait time, and we'll whisk you right through and renew your visa. So we encourage you to apply online and set an appointment date that's convenient for you, And yes.
Do I have to bring all the documents that I took when I got the visa? It's about 10 years I have, and I've never overstayed on it.
Right. So what we'll ask you to bring is your old passports with your visas inside. We'll verify your travel, your dates of travel, and move you right along. So really what you'll need is your old passports with you. All right. Thank you. Best of luck, Joy.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. We have a caller online. Lisa, how are you doing? Good to have you.
I'm okay, Mr. Darby.
Why are you laughing at me now?
No.
Yeah? Where are you calling from?
No, I'm calling from St. Catherine.
Yeah, well, they're lovely place and lovely people, man, like you. So just talk it all.
Yes. What happened? I took 2 children yesterday to the embassy to get them green card. They went with the application, the medical, everything. And they only give them a piece of paper that says Embassy of the United States of America - Kingston, Jamaica. And I don't know how I go about receiving the package so that they can leave the country.
I want to take up that one. Paul, you
Sure. I have to start out by saying that I am not a specialist in the immigrant visa section, which is what you're asking about. If you're asking about the green card in particular, so you went and you were given information, and you're trying to figure out how it is that you should retrieve the documents that you need.
Retrieve the package so that the children them can migrate to the United States.
I see. I am not in the position to answer that question directly, but here's what I'm going to give you. What I'm going to give you is the immigrant visa section email address. Okay? Are you ready? You send an email to Kingston IV at state.
Wait, KGNR, spell it out. Kingston.
Kingston, KINGSTON.
No, spell out the word Kingston.
Kingston, you spell out the word Kingston, IV.
Yes. IV.
So Kingston Immigrant Visa, Kingston IV at state.gov. Gov. And when you do so, make sure that in your email you specify that you called in to ask the consul, you asked this question, and there state exactly what it is that you need, and somebody should get back to you very quickly with the information that you're looking for.
You want to read back that email to me?
It's Kingston IV State at
.gov. There's an at sign. Right?
There's the at sign. So Kingston IV at state.gov.
Kingston IV State.
No. You know the at sign? We have good. You have to put the at between. So after you put Kingston IV, you have the at sign.
Oh, the at.
Right.
State gov.
No, state dot is a full stop.
Oh, full stop.
Right, then gov. G-O-V. Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck, Lisa.
Good luck, Lisa.
Have a wonderful day. All right, let's go now. We have Janet. Janet, how are you?
Good morning. Fine.
Good to have you.
Good morning, Janet.
Yes, what I'm calling about, my mom had filed for my siblings and I, and we have kids along on the filing, my child and my sister, but we got our letter stating that our interview would be June the 12th, June the 15th, but their name isn't on the paper. My neighbor turned 21 in November 2013, and my daughter turned 21 last year. So I'm wondering why they have taken them off the filing. So I wanted to know if I could just send an email to the NVC Center asking why or what you suggest.
Yes, Janet, I think that's exactly the right approach, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here because we're going to. Paul and I are both more on the non-immigrant tourist visa side today. But what we can do is certainly follow up to whatever emails you send here to Kingston.
Yes.
But if you have the U.S. email address and that's who you're communicating with, our recommendation would be to communicate with them and ask them that question. And I'm certain that they will follow up with you as soon as they are able.
Also, just email the U.S.
Right.
Yes, and if by chance you don't get a timely response, we can read you our local email once again, which is kingstonIV@state.gov.
Yeah.
Again, mention this program, and Paul and I will be back at the embassy making sure we follow up on those emails as quickly as we can.
Okay.
All right,
All
Jen?
right. And you just mentioned that you called the show, right? All right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, take care then. Let's now go to Devon. Devon, how you doing?
Morning, not too bad.
My brother, it's good to have you. Where are you calling from now?
I'm Maypen.
Maypen, boy. Look like we have nothing out of Maypen, boy.
Good morning, Devin.
Yes. Yes, I just calling to ask. My wife, she have a 10-year visa. She has, it expired about 8 years ago because she hadn't traveled on it. For the past 8 years, but after kids and everything. What problem do you think she will have? She never, whenever she travels to the States, she stay like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, sometimes less.
That Devin, this is Paul. It sounds like a pretty easy case to me. You're saying she's had a 10-year visa in the past. She's traveled well on it, and that's exactly the folks we're looking for. Let me make sure I heard you right. You said that her visa expired some time ago, though. Is that right?
Yeah, over 8 years.
I got you. So more than anything, you want to establish two things. One is that she has had good travel in the past. She's gone. She's complied with the terms of the visa and come back. But the other side also is to make sure that she points out that she's well established here in Jamaica. Whatever whatever the truth is, what job she has, what her relationship is with you, what children you have, things that show that you are tied to Jamaica, that you have a reason to come back. And if she can do that, she should have no problem at all.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. Because after our last one, she hasn't traveled from then.
Yeah, man, we got that. So just do as the consular officer.
There's no penalty or it's not seen negatively that she hasn't traveled in a few years. That doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling, and wish you and your wife all the best. All right.
Okay,
and your family, actually. All right, we have another caller, Grace Ann. Good morning. How you doing?
Yes, pleasant morning. I'm doing great.
I hear that.
I just have a question, even though I think I kind of get some of the answers from the other callers. What I wanted to find out is that my husband has put in a petition for me, which I got the 23rd for my interview. But I have a 9-year-old, which is not his, and I would like to add her to my thing when I went up there for the interview. I just want to find out what is it do I need to take along with her. Do we need to fill out the affidavit for her, or what else do we need? I know that I have to bring her birth certificate and her passport, but I'm wondering what other document do we need to take for her.
Hi, Grace Ann, this is Paul. I just want to make sure, is she not yet on the petition?
No, he did. The problem is that he didn't know that he was supposed to file 2 different petitions.
Right.
So it was after all the process begins, then we found out that she wasn't actually on it.
I got you. So I think the first thing you ought to do is contact the folks in Washington at the NSC who handle those things initially, because those petitions have to be processed in the United States before they come to Kingston. So even if you bring her passport, her birth certificate, I'm not certain that they will be able to add her to the petition at that point. So that's not generally.
But I have a friend who did that, but she couldn't actually, because they said.
Hello. No, you speak to your issue. You see.
Okay.
All right.
So that's my recommendation to you. If you have this appointment coming up on the 23rd, it's obviously not going to hurt to bring your daughter, bring all that documentation. But I can pretty much tell you that what's going to happen is that they're going to refer you back, and they're going to have to do something else to add her to that petition.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, Grace Ann.
And gentlemen, I'm sure that each issue is dealt with separately. So
absolutely,
each case is different. Like Paul was saying, there's no harm in her going to the embassy, but at the end of the day, the petition she will have to be added to the petition, and that typically takes place in the U.S.
Right. All right, we have another caller. Monica, how are you, Monica?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Darby.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask one question in pertaining to my mom. She has a 10-year visa. She has used it 3 times. I want to find out if there will be a problem renewing our visa now that it has expired.
So Monica, this is George. Thanks for your question. So she had a 10-year visa. She used it 3 times. She never overstayed.
No, 2-week stops.
All right, then, like I was telling the earlier caller, we'd love to have those people. As far as renewals, again, there's a special time for them to come later in the morning where the lines are a lot shorter. We'd have her come in with her passport. We'd look at her old visa and travel dates, and typically those are renewed relatively quickly. So, assuming that everything in her travel history is good, she'll have no problem renewing her visa. We look forward to seeing her at the embassy.
Are you saying that there's a special line there for people like that?
In other words, it's not a special line. There's special times where we, later in the day. So, and this brings up another point, Vernon. One thing that we wanted to emphasize, which is when people get their appointment times, let's say it's 10 a.m., right? That doesn't mean they need to be there at 8 a.m. so that they're in time for no, they need to...
I thought you were going to say they come at 11 o'clock or 12.
Exactly. That just means they need to show up at 10.
At
right?
10.
Right.
At least that is good, because they come early.
But
they don't need to come early, though, because it creates a challenge with so many persons against just standing around.
They're not going to get in any earlier than their appointment time, so appointment time really means arrival time.
So when we see a line outside, it is not because you guys are not doing your work, it's because probably persons are coming too early.
In a lot of cases, yes. And one of the nice things in the past few months has been getting feedback from a lot of applicants saying, wow, the lines are so much shorter now. And that's because the process is a little bit more efficient, and also people are understanding. If my appointment says 10, that means I need to arrive at 10, not at 9 or 9:30, at 10. Right.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
If they can come at 6 o'clock, no, they won't find the stores open. And shop around and have something to eat, and then when it comes to the exact time, just walk right up there. Got that one?
Yes, Mr. Darby, one quick question before I go. I'm seeing that where I've been online and I'm looking at the DS 160 form. Is it that you have to fill out that form and submit it before you go to the bank to pay the visa fee?
Yes, ma'am. That is exactly what you have to do. That is your basic application, and that's what gets the whole process started. So you want to make sure you fill out that DS-160 to the best of your ability and completely truthfully, submit that, and that gets the rest of the process going.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, we have another caller. Very simple name, but I hope I can pronounce it. Fetla. I think I got it right.
Fetla.
Hold on, what's it?
Fetla.
I give up. Fetla.
Yes.
Okay, I got it then. I got it. Go right ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my problem is I went to Nevada in 2007. I was supposed to do 6 months, but I only did 4. It was a work visa when I came back before my 6 months up. But it seems like there's a problem every time I apply for to go back to the embassy. I just can't get my visa. It's been coming up. Why? What happened to 2007? And I'm denied the visa.
So, are you applying for an H-2B again, or are you applying for a...
No, I'm not. I'm just applying for a visa.
For a tourist visa?
Yes, just to travel, not for work anymore.
Okay, so why did you come back earlier? What happened in 2007?
Oh, my father was supposed to living with me at the time. He had a heart problem, so I just felt not being there, not being home, and I just came home. But the problem was being there at the time too, because of the knowing that he's sick here, just got me frustrated. And well, I went into HR and told them that I wanted to go home, but I don't know, and I came home. I don't know. I'm regretting it that I didn't stay, even though he died the next year.
All right, so I can't comment on your case specifically. What I can tell you is that I've had cases like that before, where workers have come back early prior to the end of their assignment. And typically, if there is a valid reason for that, then typically that we don't see that as something derogatory to the applicant. Sometimes there is not a valid reason, right? So again, I cannot comment on your case particularly, but we are able to see if an applicant has returned early, and when we see that, we do ask why.
But is that the reason why I keep denying?
No, but your mother said before, caller, you can't speak specifically to your case.
So really, I think that the best recommendation for you would be to very clearly explain your story, explain why you came early. In the case of a tourist visa, remember you have a different requirement now. You need to, prove your ties to Jamaica. Prove that you've got solid employment here, et cetera, et cetera.
I do have a security for 5 years.
Caller, remember I said to you, you can't speak to your specific case.
Okay.
So it's giving you general information.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you very much for calling. We have a caller on the line, gentlemen. We have Ian. Ian, good morning. How are you? Good morning. I wonder if we have lost Ian. All right, I think Ian, if you're listening, call back. All right, we're going to go now to Valerie. Valerie, how are you?
I'm okay, Mr. Darby. Good morning.
Why, you sound good to me if you ask me.
And good morning to you, guys.
Yes.
Good morning, Valerie. How are you?
I'm okay. What I really want to find out, my son visa has expired like 3 years ago because he got it when he was in primary school, and that was like 5 years. They gave him 5 years, and now he's in high school, and he only traveled on it one time because he was doing exam and all of that. So what do you think? You don't have any problem renewing it now?
Valerie, this is Paul.
Yes,
each case we look at individually. So obviously, I can't comment directly on your case. One of the things that we want to make sure, especially with students that are in that sort of high school, approaching adult age, we want to make sure that there is a reason for them to come back to Jamaica. There's a lot of opportunities for young people in the United States to be working, for example, and we want to make sure that the people who do go to the U.S. are going for the right purposes, that they're going to travel to visit family, and that they're not going for any other reason than they should be. So if you do choose to reapply for him, you want to make sure that you establish that not only he but the whole family has good ties to Jamaica, that he has a solid reason to come back home.
Yeah,
because he's 50 and just turned 15 Saturday.
Yeah, so one other thing, following up on what Paul said, Valerie. Children, the parents are still a big factor when the child is 17 or under. Once they turn 18, they need to qualify on their own, right?
Okay,
but your stability and his father's, here in Jamaica, and your ties here help him to qualify again, as does his good travel history. So, assuming all of those parts are in order, then it should be a good decision for him.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Valerie. You too.
And thank you very much for calling, Karine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Valerie. All right. Let's go to another caller. Karine, how are you, Karine?
I am doing okay.
And I bet you're calling from Manchester.
No, I'm calling from Ocharias.
I know just far over. All right. Good to have you.
Good morning, Karine.
Morning. Good morning. I'm just calling just to ask a few questions. The other day I came to the embassy on April 20. I'm just 29 years old. I really applied because I see few of my family applied and they got through and they got their visa and they go on their vacation. So I wanted to get the experience also. They were telling me that America is very nice and all. So I tried. I have a small business here, and when I came, the gentleman just asked me a few questions. Who is it that I'm going to? The address that I'm going to, and I tell him the person that I'm going to. He asked me what's the type of work the person did. I tell him the type of work the person did. And when last I saw the person, I knew all of that. It was of a relative of mine. Then he said to me, I took some documents with me. But when we're supposed to put the passport through the window, it's just a passport alone we're supposed to put through the window to give to him. He didn't ask me for any bank statement. He didn't ask me for anything from a small business. I had a little license from a small business that I own. He didn't say anything to me like that, didn't ask me anything. All he said was, I'm sorry, Miss Hunter, Miss Karen Hunter, you're not qualified today. But he didn't even explain, just to say, well, so and so. So I don't understand why is it that I didn't get through. I was so really disappointed that I didn't get through. Is there anything that you can...
All right, Corinne, yeah, okay.
All
right, so first of all, thanks for your feedback. You know, at the consular section, we strive to improve our customer service on an ongoing basis. So we don't... You know, we don't like it when folks come out of there feeling like there was an unfair process. We do our best to provide you a fair hearing and adjudication. Again, I can't speak to your specific case. I'm not sure of the details. Remember that the officer who's interviewing you has access to information beyond what he's asking you. He or she may be asking you. So again, I'm not sure what he may have seen, but we're not in the business of denying people visas. We love to have people come to the U.S., spend time in the U.S., spend money in the U.S. It's our goal to be able to issue you a visa if you qualify. So I encourage you to we don't encourage people to apply too soon after having had an interview. So maybe wait a little bit. And really focus on establishing your ties here in Jamaica and proving that you're going to be a good traveler. And I wish you the best of luck when you apply again. We look forward to seeing you.
How long again can I apply?
You know, my stock answer is 1 year. You know, wait about a year and really make sure that because the officer who interviews you is going to know that you've been there before. So make sure you're able to articulate that your situation has changed and your ties are deeper now in Jamaica, and here's why, and here's the proof of my deep ties here in Jamaica, and why I'll be a good traveler. Okay?
And it's worth saying that the process is not a lottery process, right? It's something that is adjudicated individually each time. So just trying your luck for the sake of trying your luck is not a strategy we would recommend.
Right.
So whenever we bring in the documents, is it that whenever they ask for the passport and whatever is on the paper, on the application that we did, because it said that we're doing business and it said whatever, are we supposed to hand in the bank statement, or we're supposed to wait until the officer asks for it?
I mean, normally, what you need to know is that when we ask you for your passport, what we're actually getting from you is an ocean of information. There is so much information that the applicant doesn't see that we have at our disposal at that point. So if at that point we feel like we need additional information, we can ask for it. And there's also nothing stopping you from telling us that you have this information. But you know, you need to know that we have a lot more information than just the couple of questions that we might ask you during the time at the window.
I'll give you one tip, Corinne. I mean, personally, and I know many of the officers, we like applicants who are prepared, right? You don't have to shove the documents under the window, but if you lay them out and we know that you're ready to show them to us when if we need them, to me, I like that. I like to see that the applicant has come prepared and ready to show us what we need to see if we need to see it. So it doesn't hurt. Definitely doesn't hurt, right?
I had the business license and my bank statement on the counter with the passport. He said I only need the passport.
Caller. No, he's not. Right? Don't go into a specific thing. What you're doing is you're looking at your specific case, and then I'm going to go to address that. You see what you can do if you.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, and every case is different, and all that. But you know, just giving you some best practices that you might want to apply.
Yes.
Having documents there is a positive thing, and the officer will ask you for them if he needs them, he or she needs them.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, and you have a wonderful day.
Thanks much. Enjoy the rest of the day, Twan. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man. All the best. Let's go now to Alvin, my brother.
Hey, what's up? Morning, Mr. Darby.
Good to have you. You sound like you're calling all the way from Montego Bay, the friendly city.
No, Spanish Town.
Oh, Spanish Town, still a friendly city.
Good morning, Alvin.
Yeah, morning, officers. My question is, a holder of a green card, is there a time that they have to spend out of the United States?
That they have to spend out of the United States?
Yeah, is there a specific time that they cannot go beyond?
Okay, so if you are a holder of a green card, we're assuming that you are a permanent resident of the United States, right?
That's correct.
The green card means that you are a legal permanent resident.
That's correct.
And it means that we're assuming that you live and work in the United States. If you are spending too much time outside of the United States, it kind of questions why would you have permanent residency status, right? So if you have been outside of the United States for more than 1 year, as I understand it, your legal permanent resident status is effectively canceled. It's nullified.
Yeah. So unless you apply for an extension,
right.
There's certain medical cases and things of that nature. But yeah, 1 year is usually the.
Yeah, you see, why I asked, I got mine in 2013, and my job that I was doing in Jamaica, I was told that before you get the card, you ought not to be making arrangement like selling stuff and all those things. You await getting the go ahead. Now, there are some things that I have to dispose of, so I find that I have to say come down like 2 months like 2 months. I went up, come down after spending 2 months. I come down and spend like a couple of weeks to see if I can dispose of some of these stuff. So that's why I'm asking this question, because I was also told that they look more in depth at it after 2 years, after having the green card for 2 years. Like for the first year, it's understandable that you might have ends to tie up.
But also, you understand, we have the consular officers here and they are giving you solid information. So if I were you, I would wipe out what you know, what you hear, and just let them just listen to what they have to tell you.
Okay.
I mean, bottom line though, Alvin, if what it's understandable that you need to travel back to your home country, like you said, especially the first couple of years. It's got to be reasonable, and it's got to be something that you can once you go in for your permanent interview and permanent status. You're conditional at the beginning, right? You have to be able to say, okay, I did this, I did that. As long as you were truly living as a permanent resident in the U.S., and whether it was because you had a residence or had a job, etc., you should be fine. So there is no set date that says, other than that year that Paul mentioned, whether it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it shouldn't make a difference as long as you can explain it and justify it adequately.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you very much for calling. You have a wonderful day. Now let's go to our next caller. Jean, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Darby.
Good to have you.
Mr. Darby.
Good morning, Jean.
Good morning, Consulate.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I have a question here. A cousin of mine, she went to the embassy around 3 years ago. And the name that her father, that she used for the father, on the birth and the marriage cert, she didn't give that name. She gave on date of the birthday because she heard that the father was born on a different date, but the date she used that date and the name of the father, a different name that the father should have, but he didn't get it when he was registered. So when she went to the embassy, she said she didn't know that because you have to do this fingerprint. So she did use that because I don't know for what reason, but then she said she wanted to go back now because it's over 3 years.
Let me ask you something. You're just a friend?
Pardon me?
You just say it's your friend, right? Your cousin?
A cousin of mine.
Why don't you let her call the program? It'd be a good idea if she calls the program and she hears firsthand as to, what needs to be done.
Yes.
Is she in Jamaica?
Yes, in St. Anne.
Yeah, man, let her call the program, because you see, you're calling her, then you have to pass on the information to her, and that's not a good idea at all. All right?
Okay.
So tell her to call the program. You can call. We have Immigration Mondays. That's next week Monday, and the consular officers will be back. Yes, man. We're not changing numbers, man. If we change it, we would tell you. Or you can call the consular officers. Will be back week after next. So tell her to call herself and get it firsthand.
Okay.
All right.
I will. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right, same to you. Have a wonderful day. To all the best. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. The listeners, yes, my technical operator giving me trouble, Andrew Anderson. But gentlemen, can you believe it? We have come to the end of the program. Yes, and that's what Andrew was just telling me, and my producer didn't realize that. I thought we had another half or so, nothing like that. I want to thank you very much for being here and for giving all those answers. So thank you very much, Consular Officers Paul Rivera and George Cordova.
Vernon, it's our pleasure to be here.
Next time when you come back, you will be grubs, right?
Yes.
You'll take over the program. It's really good to have you. Have a wonderful day. All the best. 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 Have a